Hey, what's up, everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. So we're a K-pop podcast that generally covers the wide world of K-pop, but we've been following coverage of Produce X101, and today you are here to join us for our evaluation of the Produce X101 episode 12 finale and the X1 lineup. And additionally, we're going to review the picks we made last week and see how well we did.
Ooh.
But
If you haven't seen our prediction video, you should probably watch that prediction video, or at least the end of it, Just putting that out there.
But before we begin, shout out to the Discord. I watched the episode live with Jen, Lin, David Slothy, Zypker. And additionally, Zypker's the guy who made this graphic you're seeing on the screen. So we didn't know that, so it's a small world. Lastly, he's a moderator on r/Produce X101. He ran the giant lineup prediction contest, which had over 100 entrants. And our own Warren placed second place in that.
Whoa.
That's me. Hi, everybody. Second place. Also, I don't think he's a mod. He did run the contest, but I don't think he's a mod. Just putting that up.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure if he is, but I know he ran that contest.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's go over the episode. So I'm not going to go through all of the fluff. We're just going to get through some of the main points. So the first song they did was Boyish, right? The center candidates ended up being Yubin and Wonjin.
Yes.
Yeah, and when they went through the practice videos, the trainers recommended Wonjin to be the center as well. But they ended up picking Yubin, so that was the first thing that happened. The next song they did was To My World. The candidates were Johan and Yoon Sung. Yoon Sung got picked as the center of the second song, To My World, and he was also the Gojung pick from last week. So that was another main point to make. Lastly, we had the Lee Dae-hee song, Dream For You, and they really focused in on Mingyu a lot during that song. So those were the three songs they did during the finale before they started picking people. All right, let's get to it. They announced the name. It's X1. It's going to be managed by Swing Entertainment. They're the company that managed 101, and they're under that Stone Entertainment CJ umbrella. Today, Han Sung-woo was picked the leader of that group, so please support them.
Yes.
All right, let's get into what happened during the finale now in terms of who got selected for the group.
Oh boy.
So as they do, they left X for last, and they started with 10. And when they picked Kang Min-hee, I was like, yo, today's going to be one spicy day.
That's when you knew.
Just like last year, all over again, but over.
I like Kang Min-hee. He definitely had a late push, late momentum. As you can see on the screen, he in episode 8 he was 23rd, then by 11 he was 14th, and then in the finale he finished in 10th. His momentum definitely started when they placed him in Pretty Pretty. Like that's when he got some storylines, some push. I like him as a member, but it was just a little shocking because there were other kids who were like, "Oh man, Minnie made it." That's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
I was the only person who predicted Minhee's debut.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I was surprised as well.
Yeah, because there's definitely a difference between who you want in the group and what you predict to happen. Right. So that's something you got to keep in mind.
It's a pleasant surprise, though.
Yeah, it's a pleasant surprise. Once they got to 9th place and they picked Cha Juno, I was like, wow.
What?
No. For Cha Juno, as you could see on the screen, was like a borderline going to make this group or not make this group the entire way, right? 11th.
Yeah.
He was pretty consistently averaging like 11th place throughout the show. So he was one of the borderline members. But when he made it, and that's basically 2 spots gone, you're like, there's not enough spots for the amount of people who I predicted.
Yeah.
That was the main thing.
Dude, I was like, what the heck is going on? It's like last year all over again, I'm telling you.
That being said, adding Cha Juno, you definitely get a pretty solid sub-vocalist, I would say, to the lineup, especially when he sings with confidence, and he's good friends with Johan, so it's a good chemistry pick, I would say.
Yeah.
All right, 8th place I thought was kind of predictable. We got Do-hyun. He's definitely going to be the main rapper of the lineup. MBK showing out strong. He dropped one spot, but he's been fairly consistently in the debuting lineup the entire way.
Good talent.
Yep.
Super excited.
Shock of the season, right?
Hangyo.
Our boy Hangyo making the final lineup. Now,
He didn't believe it.
He didn't believe it. None of us predicted him to make it, and I'm super happy for him that he made the final lineup. This is the Chaewon of this season for sure.
Comeback, yeah.
Except didn't Chaewon get like 9th or like 8th?
Yeah, so he rose higher than that. But Chaewon had about the same amount to rise because she went from... Actually, her jump was bigger. She went from 18.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah.
I
But-
mean, wow,
But Hangul making it from 16, shocking.
crazy talk,
One
crazy
of
news.
I would say the most pleasant surprise of the day for me.
Yeah, I agree.
6th place, our answer is Dongpyo. I said last week that Dongpyo had a bit of inevitability to him.
Mm.
I thought he would be 10th or X, and he jumped back to some like around where he placed at the beginning of the season. So he ended up in 6th place.
Mm.
And once that happened, I was like, oh my goodness, because
We don't have enough room.
The numbers.
at that point, you knew you had both Sungwoo and Sunyoung, right? You had Hyungjun,
Yeah.
Usuk, Yohan, and Jinhyuk, right? That was like the tight core at the top. And the feeling was like there's not enough spots. there's 6 dudes
Yeah.
and 5 spots. 5th place, Jo Sun-young, he did not drop spots at all this season.
Wow,
That's great. So
And-
look at that
it
graph.
just keeps going.
And I was thinking when they picked him, I was like, all right, if for some reason Sungwoo doesn't make it, at least they have a main vocalist in this group. That was
Mm.
my thoughts. But I think he's definitely like a glue member, right? The
I
person who makes
agree,
the
yeah.
mood good,
Yes.
like
There's
funny guy, gonna be great on Variety, right? 4th
So far, I
place,
like him.
we had Hyungjun, who was kind of consistently at the top the entire way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, definitely, like once he got picked, you're like, all right. So, like we got 4 guys for 3 spots for sure, right? We had Yohan, Usuk, Sungwoo, and Jinhyuk. I honestly, at this point of the show, thought that Sungwoo was gonna drop.
Oh, I thought
I was
something
really
gonna drop.
scared.
I was really scared.
Yeah.
I was so scared. I thought like, they're not gonna have a main vocalist. What?
They're gonna have a rank
happened?
0.
Honestly, though, I thought at this point it was going to end up Jinhyuk 3, Usuk or Yohan 1 or 2. No. I was hoping that now I remember. I was hoping Sungwoo would be 3, so that
Mhm.
Jinhyuk could get X. That was my
Well,
logic.
I think
That
that's
was
what
bad.
a lot of people thought.
That's
Right,
yeah.
right.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, all right, I hope that happens, so it could work out like that. Clearly, it
then-
didn't. 3rd place,
Yeah.
but as I thought, my projection was still going on. Sungwoo got 3rd, which is extremely high. Like, great for him.
Yeah, he
They got a
rose up.
solid main vocal. They got the leader now, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And then at that point, everyone kind of knew that Jinhyuk was the guy who dropped. Then at that point, I would say.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
So we end up with Yohan Usuk. Yohan ended up taking it. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that TOP Media fans had to split up the votes because it was a 1 pick this
That's
time.
true.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So Yohan ended up being 1st. Congratulations to Yohan. He didn't drop lower than 5th,
Woo.
and he was consistently 1 or 3 the rest of the way.
Crazy.
And then Usuk ended up in number 2. So that kind of solidified most of the lineup. So we ended up with X, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so X ended up with the candidates were Eun-sang, Jinhyuk, Gu Jung-mo, and finally Mingyu.
You. Hmm.
I was so shocked when Jinhyuk dropped out first out of those 4.
Honestly, I was watching Representative Lee Dong-wook the whole time, and I feel like when he read that cue card, he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like I just feel like
Probably,
his voice, like he knew, like how.
Yeah, so that
I
was
don't
kind of
know.
shocking when he dropped out. And then
Mm.
if I remember correctly, it was Mingyu who was next.
No, it was.
Oh no, it was
Jungmo.
Jungmo. It was Jungmo. Yeah, it was Jungmo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jungmo the entire time on this episode looked so nervous. Like I thought he was gonna faint, that kid. Oh man. Look, like if you looked at his chart here, he was like he kept on getting Gu, which is ironic because he ended up getting 9th, which is Gu in Korean, and that's his last name. So that was like ironic for the way through. And then episode 11, he dropped to 15th, and he just couldn't maintain, like he couldn't rebound hard enough and ended up in 13th. So kind of sucks for him. But we do know that the Starship group that will eventually happen is going to be an epic group.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, when I saw the 4 people lineup for the potential X spots, it was kind of obvious who was gonna be it. Because if you look
Really?
at the previous rankings, right? Like Jinhyuk began as 38.
Mm.
He had to
Okay,
rise a
no,
whole
no.
ton.
I want to explain statistically at home why Jinhyuk had such low X power, right?
Right. Okay, go ahead.
The way X was done was that they added up all the votes from all the rounds, right? Back when you could pick like 11 kids or more kids, there's more votes overall because each person voting gets 11 votes.
Right.
Therefore,
Yeah.
if you were high ranks at the beginning of the season, you had a much higher chance to get X. Because as you get to like
That's
a 2
true.
pick, there's
Yeah.
only 2 votes per person voting at home.
The thing is though, Eun-sang said it too, that the votes of the live broadcast were also going to be added. So I don't know. It just had to be like a huge amount of people, and I guess people were surprised because of how Jinhyuk had been ranking in the last couple of weeks. That it just seemed like his popularity was rising, and like for it to drop on the day of the live broadcast was surprising.
I mean, no. If you go into the actual statistics, if there was no X, Jinhyuk would have ended up 11.
Yeah.
That's so ironic.
Like if like the only reason Eun-sang, I'm not saying Eun-sang doesn't deserve it because I feel like he definitely deserve it. But like at the same time, the big reason he's there because earlier episodes he was ranked 2, 3,
Yeah,
5,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
If you averaged out the rankings of the 4 candidates throughout the entire season,
Eun-sang.
it's Eun-sang
Just-
or Mingyu have the highest average rank
Yeah.
right.
across all the
Yeah, they did.
all the things. So when it and it made sense that they were the final 2, right? If you base it
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
criteria for X, and it ended up being Eun-sang. He from a pure standpoint of a viewer at home, he tried so hard this entire season to get onto this team.
I feel like I was so worried just as they were talking like back and forth as to who of the 4 would be, because I thought he looked so out of it. I was so worried. I thought he was gonna pass out.
I thought
I
thought Eun-sang and Jungmo were like having like about to pass out on that live podcast.
Dude,
But it
they
ended
were
up being
all, like, so
Eun-sang.
pale and bloodless.
I am happy to say though that the reaction of the wider community of people watching the show were more receptive to this lineup than they were last year. Last year was like a bloodbath on the internet.
Last year was a mess. Comparatively, this year was
I think the main talking points people said were probably Jinhyuk not making it was a huge point, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we're gonna go through our picks
Mingyu.
after we go through this lineup, and then we'll talk about the controversy, of course, that most of you know about.
Can you real quickly talk about like their performances real quick though?
Yeah.
Cause like nothing huge stood out because they were kind of like the similar concept and all, but like
I agree.
Hansung, this kid, I don't know. It's just
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I'm looking. I
Is this good?
find myself just staring at him the whole performance.
Oh, you're saying it in a good way. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude. No, I have like
I was
a huge,
afraid.
like, dude, I have a huge man crush on this guy. Like I was like, dude, I was looking at the pale boy
You
go, and I was like,
led into that like you were about to trash him for like.
no, dude. Big reason I'm hyped for X1 is because I'm looking at Hansung and then I'm looking at Cho Seung-yeon.
Okay, Anita, you felt the same way too, right?
I was worried for a
You
second.
really felt like you were about to trash him. All right, let's.
No. These songs are amazing.
I do think even if you're disappointed with the way the lineups turned out for your pick, I don't think that's a reason to hate the kids who did make it. It's not their
not at
fault. This
all.
is just
Yeah.
how it played out. I know there might be some rigging, which we're gonna talk about at the end.
Oh
but
boy.
At the same time, this is how it turned out, right?
Hey. I just wanna give an example. My one pick last year didn't make it. Look what's happening a year later. It might happen. Just hang in there, buddy.
Things turn out.
Things turn out. Hang in there, buddy. Things go positive. Just wait.
Oh my god.
Just
All right, let's get into our picks now. So these are the lineups we picked last year. I want to change this to justice for Jinhyuk, but we already made these lineups. So as I said, Warren got second place on a Reddit competition. That competition, the criteria was the main thing for that was just the amount of contestants you got correct. So Warren got 9 contestants correct out of 11, which is crazy, way more than last year.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me.
but the way we did our picks was you got 1 point for the contestants. If you pick the position they're in correctly, you got 2 bonus points. So in our criteria, I ended up getting first. Even if you do the other way where you just pick who got even if you lower bonus points down to 1, we end up being tied, Warren and I. But compared to last year, we did so much better. Like
It's true.
Last year our point totals were like, I think the winner got like 11 or like maybe 9 something. It was like horrendous.
Last year was a mess.
And like really the only reason I won is because I picked Johan and Usuk in the correct order essentially.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only reason. But in
Anita would have
general,
been second.
in general, we did pretty well. I'm pretty proud of us. Now, all of us got Jinhyuk wrong. All of us got Mingyu wrong.
Nobody saw that coming. Everybody was like,
Mingyu.
gonna make it.
Mingyu broke the trend of like the visual pick not making it. We had both of the centers on the evaluation, the debut songs not making it. A lot of things. The Gojung pick didn't make it. Like a lot of crazy stuff happened this season.
I started liking Yubin a lot near the end.
Yeah.
He just feels like one of those like shonen manga main character type of guy.
Yeah.
Full of energy. You guys know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
like
And the final rankings right here are the way the vote totals happen on the finale. That doesn't have to do with X. So this is how the vote totals ended up. Jinhyuk is actually above Eunseong. I'm pretty sure Eunseong ended up in 12th. But in terms of the final day voting. But he just had more X power than Jinhyuk and he made it. So this is how the voting turned out. All right. Let's get into the controversy now.
Sorry, Eunseong was 13th.
Oh, Eunseong was 13. Okay.
Yeah, 12th was Kujongmo.
Okay. See, that makes sense. All right. So the controversy everyone's talking about. All right. You don't have to be able to read Korean to understand this, but on the right-hand side, it's the differences between the line and the line below them. So this is Johan's vote total. This is Usuk's vote total. This is the difference between them two. Now, if you look at all the ones that are blue, all of them are the exact same number.
Yes.
That's just fishy, right? so
people are saying the chance that it's number multiple times is just.
We're not gonna make a complete judgment
doubtful.
on if this is rigged or not, but the only point we're gonna really make is that statistically it is almost impossible that this difference ended up 5 times. That's just objective, right? I think everyone at home could see that.
It's everything's a multiple of this one random number.
Yeah, so the number
9.
so the number we're talking about is this number here, 7,494. People have been doing math, like the Korean community has been going crazy crunching the numbers. There's this weird connection with this number. There's also a weird connection with Tony's numbers where you add up multiple contestants and it equals someone in the higher ranks. That's another thing that's going on.
We like to call it the mystery of 7,495.5.
Yeah.
That's what we've been calling it. 7,495.5. That's it. The key number to everything just divides everything so cleanly. Doesn't make any sense.
But in terms of what Mnet is saying, so this is an article that came out. Produce X 101 production team remains silent on accusation of vote manipulation. The production crew has not released an official statement or response to suspicions in any way, but an official from their network Mnet has said, this is a translation, we know there are suspicions regarding the text voting, so I kept checking the data internally, but there were no problem at all. Okay. There's nothing wrong with the text voting at all. There's no manipulation. They went on to say, I'm surprised that the difference of the vote is repeated many times, but I don't have anything to say because those are the scores as it is. Even if we make an official statement, the suspicions probably won't go away, so I don't think there will be an official statement.
Here's the thing. Every year, people are like, Produce is rigged. This year, there's a little more evidence than we had every year.
But at the same time, I know some people might be turned away from the show, but the show is super successful and popular, so it probably is not going away. But in more happy news, Produce X 101 viewers are already busy forming a sort of JBJ group to promote alongside X1.
Yeah.
So the group's name would be BY9 or B or 9. I don't know if I pronounce BY9, but it's the letter B, the letter 9, Y, and there's a 9.
I think it was
by 9. Okay, so by 9.
Yeah.
Come on,
so
Douglas.
and they're also they say the members' positions would be main vocal Song Yubin, main rapper Lee Jin-hyuk, main dancers Yoon Song and Kim Do-hyun, main visual Kim Min-gyu, triple threat Han Won-jin, lead vocal Gu Jung-mo, and Tony, the foreign language speaker, and the leader they think should be Lee Se-jin. And so far, all the labels have been receptive to this kind of momentum going on for this.
It has been the fastest out of all seasons for companies to respond. Last year, nobody ever responded.
I mean, I feel like that lineup is really good.
It's a really solid lineup.
It's a solid group.
At the end of the day, I hope everyone at home can support both of the group. If the second group occurs, great. And
Yeah.
I think you should at least support X1 because they tried really hard to get on the show, and it's not the contestants' fault if this is rigged. If anything,
agree.
if it is rigged, it's Mnet's fault
Companies.
and it's the company's fault. So I don't
Yeah.
think you should blame the contestants. So let's have some final statements about the season. I did not expect to get this hyped about the season, but
Same.
as the weeks went on, I got more and more deep into the show, and it's been like a great ride overall. It was one of the most enjoyable seasons for me.
I would agree.
Oof, you guys got any other comments?
승우 형. 와.
Oh my god.
That's the only
So,
the only big take.
Anita, what about you?
dripping.
I feel like at the beginning of the program, I was really apprehensive because of just how attached I had been to the first produce, the first Sky season, which was really fun. And I feel like this one definitely lived up to the expectations. I feel like I definitely want to see what's gonna come out of this, both the debuting group X1 and the people that didn't make it, like regardless if they're in by 9 or not, like just the participants in general, they were all so talented that I'm really just looking forward to all of them debuting. And I don't know, all the agencies, like they have really good trainees right now, so I'm just looking forward to them, just whatever they have in store.
Yeah, and continue on.
Oh no, go for it. Okay.
I think the produce model allows them to do all these like weird variations, like we did Produce 48 with AKB48, that whole family. This one you had the whole X thing going on throughout the whole thing. I'm really excited to see if they have a season 5, what's going to happen next, because anything could happen.
I feel like season 5 is definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll collab with Japan again because
I don't think so either.
Produce has it's a real thing in Japan now, just independently in Japan.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's gonna happen in Produce season 5, but I'm kind of excited.
I'm kind of excited too, but I think this closes our discussion of Produce X 101. It's been a lit season. I've had a great time. But we're SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. Please check out our regular podcast. It's a great time. Join our Discord where we talk about all these things. Maybe next year you could watch the finale with us and talk about it as it's going on. But I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me.
You guys know what's happening next week?
What's going on next week?
Show me the money!
Oh my god.
Oh, forgot.
All right, but I lost my complete train of thought there. So
I'd like to thank.
Oh yeah,
I'd like to thank
Warren
and Doug. Thank you for joining us. It's been a great season of Produce. Please feel free to subscribe, like, all that kind of cool stuff. Bye, everybody.
Bye.